Hello friends, I'm Colin and welcome back to my channel. I actually plan to film a much more chill video tomorrow and I probably still will, but I checked my subscriptions today and what do I find? GlitterAndLazers has released a new video about her lipedema surgery. And this isn't an update, this isn't, her preparing for her next surgery, why no? It's actually something that happened before she even had surgery. And the title of that video is Come With Me to My Lipedema Pre-Op Appointment. Except, when I first saw the video pop up in my subscriptions, that's not what the title was. Why does she keep doing this? I mean, it's silly though, because the old title wasn't even that much different. It was My Lipedema Pre-Op Appointment. I don't see anything really wrong with that. I don't know, maybe she thought the Come With Me was a little bit more dynamic, more interesting. I don't know. And honestly, I kind of recognized her face in this thumbnail. It really looks like the same face she was making at the beginning of that TikTok. You know, the one. And, I have been doing more of a review style video here lately, especially when talking about Anna's surgery, because, I don't know, I feel like I'd like to treat surgery with a little bit more gravity than, like, Disney vlog. But I don't know, it seems pretty clear to me that Anna is not even treating her own illness with the gravity it deserves. Clickbaiting, being dramatic, changing titles. It's all just kind of painting a picture that this is all a grift. Even if it is a grift, I do believe that Anna does have lipedema and it does hinder her life, but she just treats it so unseriously. This is just a very long-winded way of me explaining why I'm going to do a prediction game for this video. So yeah, I haven't seen it. It was posted 9 hours ago as of right this moment on July 24th. 6 p.m. almost exactly, 6:01 p.m. Yeah, no spoilers, haven't watched anything. I hope this doesn't backfire, me trying to goof on her. as goofy and unserious as she's been treating this whole thing, I think we're safe. So I have 5 predictions today, and as always, they will be in the description box if you'd like to play along at home. My first point is, as always, crying. But only if there's music. It only counts if there's music in the background, like sentimental music. Number 2, mention of restricting calories. Number 3, uncomfortable innuendo. And of course, that's going to be very subjective, but I don't know. I feel like we'll know it when we see it. Number 4, my body is fighting me, or some other similar thing, because she loves to talk about her body as if it's a completely separate entity from herself. And number 5, lastly, addressing haters. Something we've seen a little bit more often lately. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm looking a little red. It's very hot in my apartment. I've had my air off all day while I was at work. And well, I wanted to spare you the sound of my air conditioning, so there's that. I'm hot and sweaty. I've got my iced coffee, but it just dripped on me. Without further ado, let's get into it. I am gonna speed her up to let's do time and a quarter. Time and a quarter sounds good. And I'm going to go ahead and anticipate there's probably going to be some music playing at various points in this video, including the very beginning. So I'm probably going to have to mute some stuff and talk through it. You'll see. Music playing as I anticipated. Los Angeles.
So today we are headed to the Roxbury to do my pre-op assessment. I feel excited. I had a great night's sleep yesterday after like days and days of not sleeping. So I feel as best I could possibly feel going into the surgery, which is great, honestly. So now I'm just excited to like get through this, get to the other side, and understand really what post-surgery is going to mean for my body, because you don't know until you know. So we're here, and I know the day can only go up from where it started, because right now my stupid thong is so far up my butt that I'm incredibly uncomfortable. How do you people wear these? How do you people wear thongs?
Beats me, girl. Beats me. This might be mean, and I try not to comment too much on her fashion, but girl, what is that skirt? What is that? It's giving Girl Scout, but also the neon stripe is really getting me too. And it's so crinkly. It feels like that fabric is just the kind that crinkles really easily.
As part of my process, in order to be able to best talk about this condition, I wanted to make sure I was working with a doctor because, as I like to say, I am not a doctor. Hashtag not a doctor. And the best medical advice should come from a doctor. So in order to do that, I was able to partner with ALT and be able to actually talk about this from a doctor's perspective. So what we're doing right now is just doing my testimonial for that doctor, Dr. Amran, and then and Dr. Mosrefi, who's doing my plastics. And then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the actual pre-op work. Hello.
How are you? Good to see you again.
To see you.
How was your trip in?
Rough.
Rough. Why?
We had just like tons of flight delays, and then the baggage kind of broke. It was a whole thing, but we are here now.
So let me talk about Lipedema.
Why did I not put travel issues on the list this time? I should have known better. Okay, so for any of you who may be new, Dr. Amran is, well, he's a dermatological surgeon, but he's kind of made a name for himself, kind of carved out a space for himself as like a lipedema expert. Just like a lipedema surgeon. He does other types of cosmetic surgery, but and lipedema surgery is the same, it's similar to like cosmetic liposuction, which is the field he started in. So it kind of makes sense. I've seen some people try to cast aspersions on his credibility as a surgeon. I think he's qualified from what I can tell, but I don't personally necessarily trust that he is as knowledgeable about lipedema as some other people, but we'll see. We'll see what he says. We'll just see. Okay.
Lipedema is a fat storage condition that's very under-recognized around the world, identified way back in 1940 at the Mayo Clinic, but just pretty much ignored and forgot about. We all never learned about it in medical school. Most people don't know about it. Unfortunately, most doctors still don't know about it, although things are beginning to change. It always does get worse about a person's lifetime. It's usually a slow process, but many times it increases in activity with hormonal changes of puberty, pregnancy, menopause, or other hormonal changes. The big problem is patients with lipedema are simply misdiagnosed as being overweight or obese based on BMI indexes, which are really not a good way of looking at lipedema. And they try everything, and they just don't really lose weight. Many times they'll have eating disorders that develop at a young age because they struggle so much and shame to blame and all that stuff. You know, when I look at some...
Okay, this is something that I have come across a lot. Specifically, we've heard Anna say it a lot, but like, we can't 100% blame her for saying this because clearly she has a professional sitting here saying it as well. And it's that lipedema makes weight loss difficult. And I think that's true. Like, typically speaking, like, you'll hear a lot of people say, a lot of experts say, like, you'll lose weight in other parts of your body, but not the parts affected by lipedema. But I mean, I've got her up on the screen at this moment, and you can, I personally believe, looking at Anna, that she has plenty of regular fat to lose. And I say that like all the time because people like Anna, people like Dr. Amran are perpetuating this belief that you can't lose any weight at all because you have lipedema, and that's like not something that I believe is true. But all right, let's hear him out.
Somebody's body, lipedema or not, I want to understand the body from a standpoint of overall balance proportion. I think one of the mistakes that many surgeons do, just liposuction, is like, so what do you want to do? And the patient just kind of shows in the area and says, okay, let's do liposuction. But you want to really understand a person's body completely, to understand where they are out of proportion and balance. Okay, so Anna is overweight, but she's also disproportionate.
Interesting.
And even just looking at things, she's disproportionate in characteristic patterns that are about lipedema and how it's involved. So, as I stand back and look at her, you start to understand her body. There's areas of more increased fullness. The thigh unit, the hip unit, less so in the calves and ankles. Her torso is full and her arms are getting full. So it's exactly in line with what we begin to see with lipedema. And she has more of this triangulated pattern of lipedema. So it's not this column-like pattern that is type 3. It's more of a type 2 pattern where the predominance is from her knees all the way up to her groin and her hip area. And now secondarily, her calves and ankles are beginning to get involved. So I can just ask her, when it began, or when she was like, 18 or 20, where her calves and ankle was very full, and probably the answer was exactly no.
That's like maybe last 3-4 years.
Right, because of type 2, it will begin.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't personally think her calves and ankles look that much different than anyone else. So that's interesting. I don't know. She has said recently that she does have lymphedema as well as lipedema. So I don't know if maybe that's, I don't know. I can't really. Look, I'm not an expert. I should have said that from the top. I'm not an expert. I have been doing a lot of research I promise I'm still working on it, a video about kind of what I think is the huge issue with lipedema, which is there's a lot of disagreement in the medical community about what it is, how to treat it, et cetera, et cetera. And so I have a lot of things swimming in my brain that I really just don't have enough time to get into right now. So this is kind of going to be a difficult video for me to watch because I don't know. But just going off of what he just said, like the calves and ankles, I mean, just looking at her calves and ankles look fine. Like, I do genuinely believe she has lipedema because, I mean, there are two characteristics of lipedema that you usually hear, and that's what he was just saying is the disproportion. And also there's like pain involved and she's talking about varicose veins, like venous insufficiency is also really common with lipedema. Like, I believe her, and I believe her doctors, her medical team, that she has it. I just have a lot of conflicting feelings about some of the other things that he has said and I feel like is going to say. I don't know. I feel like I went on a tangent just because I was like, I don't know, her calves and ankles look fine to me.
From the knee up, and then the calves and ankles begin to get secondarily involved with it. So it's just, you begin to understand this condition in terms of how it presents and progresses. I can get a sense very early on, she's quite fibrotic here. There's a lot of tenseness that's probably quite tender as I'm pressing it, and I can feel a lot of the fibrosis in here too. It comes up to right through this area over here, and this is what's called a pelvic girdle. And it really is well defined from the mid or upper 1/3 of the buttock area all the way to the lower back. And this is really where a lot of it, see, it's tender when I'm pressing it.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of it really stems from.
I'm sorry.
This
I know it's
here
professional.
Is
it's just
increasing
funny.
pressure down
Ooh,
below.
who is this?
All the way.
Sorry, I see a mirror. I look in it, okay? I wonder who this person, if I can get my cursor. Here we go. Who is this person? Who is this person filming? I wonder if that person is part of his team, because as we know, Anna always has her creative partner John filming her. Huh. Because, like, they've been involved in each other's stuff on Instagram, liking and sharing each other's posts and stuff on Instagram. So I just kind of wonder, like, who's sharing film with who and who is whose employee, etc., etc. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so when I talk about my surgical treatment plan, it's important to understand how this plays into it and the importance of decongesting this first. So I can feel a lot of fibrosis here. So if people think lipedema does not occur in other areas of torso, it can. And again, especially in patients like Anna that are more advanced with pelvic girdle involved with it. Lipedema is a systemic condition. It's not only just in the fat, it is occurring kind of throughout the body because it's connective tissue weakness. That's really the primary thing going on, looseness of connective tissue. You've got leaky lymphatics, fragile capillaries, hypermobility, Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue disease, leaky gut syndrome in a lot of patients. And that's another thing. Many times the patients with leaky gut syndrome have been misdiagnosed because it's really kind of part of lipedema. So it goes back to being a connective tissue weakness. It's not primarily
a there's so much I want to say right now.
I surprise people with that. The fat is a secondary phenomenon going on. The fluid is moving out, like I said, then the deposition of fat, and then the inflammation of fibrosis. It's a whole process that goes on with it. And eventually it will begin to slow your metabolism down, because this fat is not only responding to hormones, it's producing estrogen and other hormones that progressively makes it harder and harder to lose weight. So you're about stage 2.
Again, I am not an expert, but that sounds, now I know for a fact that a lot of stuff he just said was extremely debated, but the metabolism thing, there is a way to measure your metabolism. Some people do that, measure their metabolism for various reasons, including weight loss. But like, I wonder if he did that. I mean, is he just going off of her claim that she's, eating in a calorie deficit and not losing weight on a weight loss, or she was on a weight loss drug, no longer losing weight? Is he taking her word for that and assuming that her metabolism slowed down, or did he actually measure her metabolism? I just wonder because, I mean, you had that occupational therapist she talked to in her last video. I think it was her last video, the Everything Hurts whatever video that she changed the title of. She had that occupational therapist she was talking to for insurance purposes, and all she did was take Anna's word for it. So it just kind of, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder.
She just begins to lose the whole battle with it, and she can find herself starving, eating very, very little, and she's still putting on weight, right? I'm gonna just chime in comment on the emotional toll of lipedema. And so we talked about this weekend. I did a webinar with Allison and Casey about things. I mean, these patients have been through a lot, and I would say that about 2/3 of patients at some point cry in the journey, whether it's a consultation.
I've cried like 4 times.
Or a preoperative visit, or it's a day of surgery, it's after surgery, it's 2 months or months later when they're looking at their new body.
I'm so sorry. I feel like there might be new people. I don't know. I get new subscribers all the time, so I wonder if there's any new people here, if that came across as really rude. But like, there's a reason that why on my prediction list there's crying. And that's because Anna cries at the drop of a hat constantly, and it's also kind of funny because rarely does she produce liquid when she cries. So that I don't mean to sound mean. I'm sure this condition is extremely difficult on her. I genuinely believe that, but it's a little bit funny.
Things, and there's a big emotional component. It presents at a very sensitive age, puberty. I've got teenage daughters, and it presents at a sensitive age with things. And when people try to figure things out and compare themselves to others, and at the same time they're being shamed and blamed and told to just go lose weight and exercise more, or you're not doing your part and you're not doing your part of things. That's why I just say to people out there, it's cruel to tell these patients just to go lose weight with it. They've been told that their whole life with it. And it is. And here's a very beautiful, strong woman who's done everything with it. And she's still emotional, about things because she's done her best with it.
Has she done everything though? Has she done everything? Because, conflicting opinions about that, huh? Conflicting opinions about that. I don't know. I want to genuinely believe that this doctor, this surgeon is an expert and isn't just talking, isn't just blowing smoke. But I am absolutely not a medical expert. I was an English major, but I've been in this for a couple months now, since the end of April, and he's saying a lot of things here that there's a lot of conflicting opinions about, and I don't know if he, as a dermatological surgeon, whether or not he has had a lot of experience with lipedema patients. Are you just taking your patient's word for it? Because I genuinely believe it's very true that someone like Anna, who has been plus size for, I think, pretty much her entire life, I don't doubt that people have told her to lose weight before, and she's not been successful. She's gained weight over her many years on the internet. And then she lost weight with Wegovy, but I don't doubt people have been telling her to lose weight her whole life, and I don't doubt that that's been a challenge. Like, there's so much more psychologically that goes into weight loss besides, eat less, move more. That's how you lose weight, but it's not as simple as just doing that. And I say that from experience. I've lost about 60 pounds, and I'm at the point now where I'm trying to maintain. And it's still hard every day. I still, have to take every day making decisions. I don't stick to my calorie limit sometimes. I occasionally fluctuate. I put more weight on, I lose weight. Like, it's hard because there's you have an emotional day, and someone like me and probably someone like Anna, she's talked about it before, will emotionally eat and try to make themselves feel better. I try to make myself feel better with food. Like, it's tough. And I don't doubt that she's probably been bullied and harassed, most of her life, if not her whole life, for being plus size. And like, that's wrong. And I understand like what a toll that can take on somebody. Not to mention she has this condition that also has affected her mobility and apparently has caused pain. And like, that's hard. And you pile all of that stuff on with this knowledge that like, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. And if you're not going about it with, I don't know, probably therapy, like real therapy, not BetterHelp like she's used in the past, I don't know. I just feel like I've heard her say all of this stuff before he even came into the picture. Like, and I've heard other people say this kind of stuff too on the internet. I feel like she doctor shopped for this particular surgeon in particular who would believe that she's tried to lose weight with a calorie deficit and been unsuccessful. And that's so difficult because, again, are you doing this metabolism test? You can't lock Anna in a room with, 1,800 calories and see what happens. That would be unethical. I don't know. All this really just makes me want to have a Secret Eaters in the US. There's a show from the UK called Secret Eaters where they prove to people who think they're eating in a calorie deficit they're actually not. And I don't know. I'd bet dollars to donuts, no pun intended, that if you really monitored what Anna's eating, you're gonna find either enough to maintain or enough to gain as far as calories. I genuinely believe that there is non-lipedema fat there. I mean, he even said, it's weird, he kind of talks out of both sides of his mouth. He's like, Anna is overweight, but also all of this lipedema is preventing her from losing any weight. Like, at some point, the laws of physics do come into play, whether or not you have lipedema. All right, I'm done ranting. I'm only a little over halfway through. Let's keep going.
I just know that like doing this is going to help a lot of people, but I also know it's going to bring me a lot of hate.
To
use... Ding, 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 ding. Addressing haters, number 5. That was kind of a long shot. I didn't know that was going to happen in this one in particular. So that's 1 of 5, addressing haters. She's cried, but not with music. I'm holding out hope for that one.
Hateful words on the internet against Anna or people like Anna, it's really not understanding things completely. Just to go and say, oh, you're not doing this, you should be doing this with it. So really, I don't like that.
Can I hug you?
It's got a lot of, it's not right. So, again, patients many times develop eating disorders, there are patients with lipedema because of all the emotional impacts. So there's a whole emotional component to it. When people find out about it or they're diagnosed with it, they're filled with many times many emotions. It's not just this joy, the aha moment. Sometimes it is. It's like kind of rejoicing they have an answer, but sometimes it's like fear, sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's frustration, sometimes that's resentment over being misdiagnosed.
It's all of those.
It's all, really honest. It's filled a lot of emotions with it. Even going through the surgery, even the transformation, sometimes it's emotional. I think we talked about this. So it's another component of things. Dr. Michelle, he's my plastic surgein.
Whoa, he's
director
tall.
of Roxbury Institute, and we worked together for years now. And he's just
sorry. I know that Anna's like somewhere around 5'9", 5'10", so that dude is tall. I don't know. I do feel like in cases where we're talking, or I'm talking about people like Anna who are big and face a lot of hate on the internet, I feel like I do have a certain responsibility to be like, I was gonna say I don't dislike Anna because she's overweight. I don't dislike Anna at all. Well, I dislike a lot of Anna's behavior, but like, I don't hate her. I don't care that she's plus size. I don't care that, that she's overweight or whatever phrase you want to call it. I've been there too. I initially found her and liked her because she was plus size and was like, I'm going to go on a weight loss journey and still I'm body positive. And I liked that. So I feel like I do have a certain responsibility to be like, I am not here to bully Anna. I don't consider myself a hater. I consider myself a reactor, sure, but number one, I am here to talk about the misinformation that Anna potentially could be spreading and has spread in the past. Number two, I am kind of here to goof on her, hence my prediction list. So there's that. I don't hate her. I don't care that she's plus size. I'm just here to offer my opinion, as it were.
First of all, great guy and does amazing work with things. Understands lipedema very well, and lipedema when he was with Stanford. He did a lot of lipedema surgery with things. So he does amazing work with it. Anna's a wonderful woman and a patient with more advanced
His
lipedema.
tapping is driving me nuts.
Quite earlier stage 4 lipedema with some lipedema going on with it. We work together to put together a plan in terms of how things are approached, orders of things, intervals of things, when things are done together, when things are done separately. Another very important thing to understand in lipedema patients to approach things properly and safely. You know, the need for doing it cosmetically versus treating a disease. And with lipedema patients, it is both. You've got both things going on, and you really, in every patient, want to get the best functional improvement of the disease and prevention of it, and at the same time, the best cosmetic improvement in every patient. They really kind of go hand in hand. You know, she rightfully so said her main goal is the disease treatment and prevention of it and setting things back is affecting her. And absolutely, but she will also get the best cosmetic improvement also. Many stage 1 or stage 2 patients, they may not care as much about the disease itself and not having as much pain. They just want to push from a cosmetic standpoint, and that's fine. But you really want to nail both of them.
Sorry, I get the impression that Anna is very uncomfortable not being the main presenter of a video. This is a state of Anna that we don't often see, where she just has to kind of stand there and be on camera without being the main focus. And she seems really uncomfortable, and she seems like she's doing a lot of face acting, a lot of face journeying. It's really interesting. I've seen her do that before, where it's like, I genuinely believe that she's feeling all the concern, the worry, the fear, like all the things. I genuinely believe she's feeling that, but she is so hyper aware that she's on camera that she's making faces that look fake. You know what I mean? Like she's acting that way, not actually feeling that way. I genuinely believe she's feeling that way. She comes across a little bit goofy.
And they actually go hand in hand.
And you've never had surgery in your arms before?
No.
Okay. So you definitely have lipedema.
When did they film the TikTok is my
There's some
question.
laxity here. The main thing is that because of how heavy this is, it's really going to kind of end up like this, but smaller. And so this amount of hang is all going to kind of go away. This is going to be smaller.
If you see me wincing, guys, or if I'm making faces just because it hurts a little bit, I'm okay. I'm not wincing at the doctors. It's just the thing is being touched in places that hurt is sometimes hard.
Yeah. And that's not uncommon in lipedema patients that they have pain here. And so we're trying to alleviate that. So sorry to press it. Just by removing some of that hang. The problem is there's so much laxity here that if we just tried to isolate the removal here, you would likely end up with some bulges in other places. So we're going to extend that on and remove some of the fullness in your forearm as well. So it'll travel usually not up to the wrists because people don't have much laxity here, but somewhere around this area. And then as far as the inner thighs go, so outer thigh lifts, there's a variety of things. There is a type of lift that puts a scar straight up and down here. I don't think that's ideal because a lot of people don't want that scar, but some people end up needing it if the hang really bothers them. But I think debulking first is going to help a lot on the outer
just see what it looks like.
I agree, yeah, because
this is
just catch you up to speed if you're not familiar. She has had one surgery and they did the outer thigh. I personally and a lot of other people have been like, don't notice a difference. It's still pretty early. It's only been like 2.5 weeks, close to 3 weeks. So there could be a lot of swelling and stuff, but I didn't see that much of a difference from the first one. In comparison with like other patients, especially, I've been able to see a bigger difference. So we'll see. I mean, she's got 3 more, and apparently they're going to do her arms at some point. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
This is functionally a lot worse for patients, and so all of this kind of heaviness here, when you have it, it goes down to your knees. Go ahead and bend the knee a little bit. Yeah, so you can see that the knee, what's in the inner thigh is actually falling down below the knee.
Yeah, I was showing him earlier. I can't, so I have a lot of fibrotic tissue, so that's as far as I can bend my knee.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's like physically obstructed.
Yeah, no, I physically can't. Like there's fibrotic tissue. It's hard.
Well, yeah, sure. I don't know. I feel like even if it weren't fibrotic, you still wouldn't be able to bend that far, even if you just had like normal fat. Okay.
All I'm sure gets super moist. And
Yeah.
this
So gross. It's true.
This rubbing area is going to get reduced. So when I take all that away, we're going to create, basically what I call airspace. We're going to create more space between the thighs.
Give her that thigh gap. There's music playing.
So now we are taking photos so we can see how my body looks before and after the various surgeries I'm going to have. So that is what this is.
For the most part, this is going to be...
Oh, I thought it said underpants, and I was like, no.
You were prepared for that one.
We ordered some too, so we have some in the hotel as well.
We'll try to use these up, so if you need anything additional, then you can just use what you have.
Man, she is really extending this out. Well, that was interesting, huh? Well, I only got to mark one thing off the list. I'm really surprised I didn't get the "my body is fighting me" thing, although we really just didn't hear Anna talk a lot in that video, which is really unusual. And this really feels like, well, it feels like an ad, doesn't it? Let me read the description, shall we? In today's video, I'm sharing a very personal and important part of my health journey, my preoperative visit for my initial surgery to treat my lipedema. In this video, you will see my doctor speak candidly about my lipedema diagnosis, what has to be done to treat it, and my treatment plan. As a stage 4 type 2 lipedema patient, I hope this video raises much needed awareness about this condition. Meet the doctors, Dr. David Amron, the amazing surgeon who will be performing my lipedema surgeries. He's the pioneer of lipedema surgery in the United States and is the founder of the Advanced Lipedema Treatment Program and the Roxbury Institute. Dr. Sean Mashrefi, he will be handling the plastic and reconstructive surgeries and the subsequent procedures. So I guess he probably wasn't involved with the first one very much. Where is it happening? The surgery is taking place at the Roxbury Institute, which is recognized as a global leader for lipedema treatment and care through its Advanced Lipedema Treatment (ALT) program. In this video, you'll see 1. My consultation and pre-op discussions with Dr. Amron and Dr. Mashrefi. 2. What to expect before undergoing lipedema surgery. 3. My thoughts and feelings as I prepare for this significant step in my treatment journey. Thank you for supporting me as I navigate through my lipedema surgery journey. Thank you to Dr. Amron and Dr. Mashrefi for partnering with me on my journey and helping spread awareness together. Now, I did say that felt like an ad, and she has tagged things with like ALT ambassador, Advanced Lipedema Treatment Ambassador, and she's never really explained what that means, especially because apparently now she's saying, as of her last video, that it's now titled "It's Worse Than I Thought." It used to be titled "I Can't Walk Anymore. Never forget, never forget." But anyway, she detailed in that video that like supposedly her insurance would be covering the surgery. There's been a lot of speculation that like, well, she didn't say exactly that her insurance was covering the surgery, but here's what you do to get the insurance to cover the surgery. And I'm like, it's interesting. I have promulgated a lot of conspiracy theories as of late. I don't know if that's true or not. I guess potentially time will tell. I don't know. We might never actually know about that. I'm really wondering if Anna will ever say or do something that explains what she means by being an ALT ambassador. Like, does it mean they're covering part of her surgery, all of one surgery? What is it? We don't know. And I, she didn't tag this video with that, and I don't think I've seen her tag many other things with it either. This video honestly didn't tell me anything more that I didn't already know, if I'm being honest with you. Like, this just felt like the extended cut of her TikToks that she's been posting. She's also been posting on her Instagram stories. So I don't know. I didn't really learn anything here that I already didn't know. I think a lot of people will come away with this thinking a lot of things about lipedema, that are, again, controversial. Not everyone believes the things that Dr. Imran believes about lipedema. That's all I'm going to say at this moment. I am working on my script for my lipedema video. I kind of wonder what the comments say. A lot of them are going to, yeah, a lot of them are very supportive. You know, she's been attracting that new audience of other lipedema patients, or just people with lipedema. So I think her comments lately have been overflowing with other people with lipedema being supportive, and that's understandable. And they also, you know, may or may not have heard of Anna before or know any of the things that a lot of us know about Anna. So I guess that's all for me today. I hope you enjoyed our little prediction game, even though it only produced one result. But sometimes it's nice to have a prediction game. It kind of feels like back when I was a kid and I went to church and like they would hand out those little pamphlets that had the little blanks, and the pastor would like have a screen where he would occasionally put up a little thing and fill in the blank, and so you would follow along in your little pamphlet, fill out the blanks to kind of like help people pay attention, because church can be boring. And like, we've been talking about church a lot lately. We had lymph church, and now we're having this. All right, friends. Well, you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments about this video. It was really interesting to see someone else besides Anna taking the forefront and her just kind of being in the background. It kind of makes me wonder if they are also getting something out of this monetarily or otherwise. Just makes me kind of wonder. All right, y'all. Well, I really appreciate you hanging out with me for a little while. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I will see you next time.
Stupid thong is so far up my butt.